Hey, 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 and hello, everyone, and welcome back to Beer Time with Big Bird. It's Friday, which means it's time to crack open another beer and talk about the wackiness that's been going on in our world. And of course, we're joined by the show cat today, apparently. Today's episode is going to be all about the insanity that has taken place over the last 24, 48 hours vis-a-vis Elon Musk's takeover of Twitter and how it has unfolded. It's been a glorious thing to witness. It's been really fun. The meme game has been on point. It's been great. So we're going to go over the timeline a little bit and some of what has happened and what might happen in the future. But of course, this is Beer Time with Big Bird, which means no Friday stream would be complete without the addition of our beer for the day. And today we're going to do something a little special, something we've done on the podcast, I know, before, but I don't know if we've done it here at the beer show, and that is a double up of two different beers. It is a 50-50 mixed beer we call Space Blood, and that's because it is an Elysian Space Dust with a Elysian Super Fuzz, which is a blood orange pale ale. So we're going to attempt to do this somehow or other while we're on the stream, and it's really good. I don't know when or where I remember discovering this, but I think it was actually from the brewer itself. Said, yeah, if you combine these two beers, then you make this other thing. And they called it something different. They didn't call it Space Blood. Donovan and I came up with that one on the show. So we got 50% of our lovely Space Dust IPA, and then we'll crack open the Super Fuzz, which is actually just one of my all-time just favorite beers in general. Nice blood orange pale ale. And we'll just do a 50-50 mixology there. If you've never had whoa, there we go. I'll double fist Mike Ultra to keep up. You get it, Joseph. What up, dude? Happy Friday. Joseph, you ever had a mixed beer before? It was a new thing for me. It was quite the experience. I just felt like there was something wrong about the whole deal when I did it. Cheers. Oh, yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that at all. Especially on this illustrious Friday. I mean, Elon Musk has taken over Twitter, man. It's like a whole deal. Twitter has a hope now. We have a hope in Twitter that it may not be as terrible as it has been. And the times are exciting. But before we do any of that, let's plug the shows. Make sure to be following everybody over here on this. Whoop, there we go. All the socials. Follow the podcast over on, it's at Salt the Streets on everything, especially over there on Patreon, because that's where we get paid. The little we get paid, but we do have a very nice perk coming. If you subscribe to the $5 tier or more, you can of course get our lovely once a month newsletter, which is coming out on the 31st. So on Halloween, you can get that in your email inbox, and you can hear everything that I am writing about this month, and then everything Donovan's going to write about this month. Obviously, I have no idea what he's writing about. I did give the game away a little bit to him earlier today about what I'm writing about. Kind of, my typical downfall of democracy, the Republic in danger, blah, 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 so on and so forth. I don't want to give the game away. But if you're interested in hearing my more clarified and distilled takes on the wider world and the greater political doings and goings on in the world, that's how you do it. Plus, check out the other tiers. There's all sorts of cool stuff you could do by joining and supporting us over on Patreon. But of course, part of the reason come on, Cat, you are killing me today. You need to just go hang out down there with the show dog. Part of the reason I want to plug that, of course, is because tomorrow is episode 136, Salt the Streets podcast, right here, noon Pacific time, Pacific Daylight Time, if we want to be technical, because it's almost the end of Daylight Saving Time. I think that's next week, 2 weeks from now. 2 weeks from now, yeah, which would be great, because that's the fall back time. That's when everybody gets that extra hour of sleep, which is always sweet. I think, yeah, fall back, we'll go back, yeah. I don't know. Either way, it's stupid. I don't know why we do that anymore. But we got a hell of a show coming in. It's going to be Today we're going to be very uplifted because we're going to have fun. We're going to look at memes. We're going to laugh at the Schadenfreude that's going on over with the what they call the C-suite, which is all like the CEO, CFO, those kind of executive people are no longer at Twitter anymore. So we're going to look at those. We're going to have a good time because tomorrow's going to get heavy. Obviously, we got some local stories. We might have mentioned it once before on the show earlier on. But we had an update recently on a Bremerton football coach, Bremerton High assistant coach, I believe. He was in the Supreme Court about a kind of a free speech, freedom of religion case, and we talked about that when it was coming up, and then we talked about the verdict, and we got a story coming out now about him getting reinstated as assistant coach of Bremerton High School, which is just weird to think about. But we got a bunch of other local stories. Our state Senate race, the Democratic Party has caught on, and they're getting really worried about it. So they sent their B squad out here, Kamala Harris, to help boost our sitting terrible Senator Patty Murray, because it looks like that this might be a hidden battle that the Republicans might win. So that's kind of fun, and we've got all sorts of other little local stories to talk about. And then in part 2. We're going to be diving into some more World War III type stuff. You know, we got, it shouldn't be surprising to anybody, but Donovan was right when he called it all those months ago when he said there's definitely Western forces in Ukraine. And so that's, of course, that has now come out now. But we're going to talk about all the stuff with the Ukraine, and then we're talking about some China stuff, and it's just going to be a whole deal. All of which definitely don't do us any favors when it gets to not getting closer to World War III. And then in part 3, it's going to be more of like a military focused thing, or we'll be looking at some of like the degradation of the military, especially as it concerns all these former generals and colonels and admirals and things like that are seemingly either retiring or just getting out of the military and then going to go work for the United Arab Emirates and various other adversarial nations across the world. And there's no shortage of them, and most of them are coming directly from high political office. So that's fun. So we're going to talk about all that, and of course, in part 4, the fun, awesome grab bag, which is generally speaking just bookmarks in my Twitter feed, which have been just fire. There's just been fire this last couple weeks, so I can't wait to get into that. So without any further ado, I don't like changing the time. It throws off my sleep schedule twice a year. Amen. Amen, Joseph. It's stupid. We're not 1800s farmers anymore. We don't need daylight savings time. We have phones. We have phones that have alarms on them, and we can get up when we need to go to work. We have nice lights now we can put on our tractors if we are a farmer, and you can go out and farm in the dark. We have GPS guided systems to maximize crop yield, so we don't need the daylight. I'm tired of it. It's dumb. It's 2022. Let's get the program here. Quit fucking everybody's sleep schedule up. It's dumb. It takes forever to get back on a good schedule after just missing that one day. People's sleep schedules are very regular. We have documented science talking about this. It's not a good deal. Anyways, let's talk about some fun stuff. Boom. It all started a couple days ago when Elon Musk sent this tweet with this video of him walking into the headquarters carrying a sink with the caption, "Let this sink in." And it was awesome. And then everybody, then the internet started to implode, which ultimately led to yesterday, the tweet, "The bird is freed," which is sitting at 2.1 million likes right now, 48,000 quote tweets, over 300,000 retweets, and a reply section that has a meme game that rivals anybody. Bilbo, what's up, buddy? Hail, guys, late to the party. Hope everyone's doing well. We are doing well because we're drinking 50-50 mixed beers. And we're talking about our future emperor of the world, Elon Musk, taking over Twitter, which is always a good thing. So this is one of my favorite memes. Obviously, the Thanos meme with all the dissolving. I don't know what you call that meme right there. I'm an old man, so I'm a little off the meme name game, but I just call it the progressive cry guy. all dissolving into nothingness. And it's fucking phenomenal, and I love every second of it. This one's great. It's a good take on the old Lion King there. Again, with the liberal cry guy as Elon. You know, it's just magical. It's just magical. He's holding up the Twitter. I don't remember. That's Mufasa. No, Mufasa. No, I don't. Nope, I'm not going to do it. I don't remember the name of the monkey in Lion King. Next, Wall Street. Oh, this one was great. This is one of my favorite. If you guys are just listening, it's just a clip from the Chinese Communist Party conference where Xi Jinping ousted his old predecessor, if you will, and but instead we got Elon as Xi Jinping and Parag, the former now CEO of Twitter, being escorted out unwillingly, and it's phenomenal. And of course, another free the bird meme, which is, I want to know where this takes place. But we got a little bird seller there selling this guy birds on the street, and he's just freeing the birds as he gets them. Just let him go, man. That's what Elon's doing right now. He's freeing the Twitter, supposedly. It's really fun, but obviously we don't really know what's going to happen. Everybody on Twitter yesterday, as I was watching this happen, there was just learn to code running like crazy, like all these formally bannable sentences and statements getting out there. I don't trust the automated algorithm that is somewhere deeply embedded within the code to not have been removed yet. So I'm like, I'll just hold off. I'm not trying to lose my account yet. But didn't look like anybody did, which was cool. There was a lot of like, women are women, that type of stuff there. It was fantastic. I may finally use Twitter after about 10 years. Bilbo, if you're going to start using Twitter, now is the time. I'm telling you. It's been not a fun place for a very long time. And last night, I was sitting there, I was watching football, I was watching the Ravens-Buccaneers game, because Tom Brady is don't ask me why, but Tom Brady is my starting quarterback in my fantasy league, so I had to watch, and it was painful, but it was a terrible game. It was just the Buccaneers defense just trying their hardest not to die, but sitting there watching that, and I was just scrolling through Twitter watching all the madness happen, and I couldn't stop laughing. All the memes, all the stupid hot takes. We're not going to do any bad takes from psycho progressive leftists and stuff that are just losing their absolute shit, thinking that the world's going to end, that he's going to bring on World War III, the world is over, democracy dies on Twitter when Elon owns it. It's terrible. We're not going to get there because we're having fun today. But what we are going to do is we're going to take a look at the open letter that was sent out a couple days before the deal was finally done by a group of, I believe, unnamed staffers at Twitter. And this is what they had to say. Staff, Elon Musk, and board of directors. We, the undersigned Twitter workers, believe the public conversation is in jeopardy. Elon Musk's plan to lay off 75% of Twitter workers will hurt Twitter's ability to serve the public conversation. We're going to pause there for a second because this rumor of Elon looking to lay off 75% of the workforce is nothing but a rumor. No one has confirmed that. Hasn't necessarily come out of his mouth. I believe it's a thought, but it's a thing. Joseph, I've never had a Twitter account, but if y'all do it, dude, jump on, bro. Just jump on the Twitter game. How are we gonna like hang out on Twitter, and we could share fire memes between all of us if y'all motherfuckers aren't on Twitter? If there's gonna be one place, one social media you hang out at, should be Twitter, because it is a dumpster fire, and you can have a hell of a lot of fun in a dumpster fire. So anyway, a threat of this magnitude is reckless, undermines our users' and customers' trust in our platform. Nobody trusts you, Twitter. Jesus. And is a transparent act of worker intimidation. Nope. No, it's not. He's buying a company, bro. You just leave it alone. And just because you heard some rumors, probably on Twitter, the platform that you run every day and kick people off of every day, doesn't make it true. Twitter has significantly Twitter has significant effects on societies and communities around the globe. As we speak, Twitter is helping to uphold independent journalism in Ukraine and Iran, as well as powering social movements around the world. First of all, don't even bring up uplifting independent journalism with me, fucking you crazy woke ass Twitter people. All you guys do is ban and, crack down on independent journalists if they're actually doing their job and reporting the true nature of the reality on the situation. All you do is cut down on them, man. Most really good independent journalists aren't even allowed on Twitter right now because y'all motherfuckers kicked them off. Hunter Biden laptop? It's amazing. The stories coming out have been hilarious. Oh, they're so filled with schadenfreude. I have just been loving the last 24 hours, man. It's so good. So here we go. Let's see. As a threat of the workers, as a threat to Twitter's future, these threats have an impact on us as workers and demonstrate a fundamental disconnect with the realities of operating Twitter. They threaten our livelihoods, access to essential health care, and ability for visa holders to stay in the country they work in. We cannot do our work in any environment of constant harassment and threat. Without our work, there is no Twitter. Bro, you don't want to tell your new boss that, you're the guy, you have to stick around. When they do the Office Space moment, and they call you in there and they say, what is it exactly you say you do here? We all seen your TikToks, man. We all seen the videos of you Twitter employees waking up early or waking up late, going to the gym, taking your time, getting your coffee at your lovely Twitter building, going to hang out here, never really actually seeming to do any work, and then going home to be like, wow, that was a hard day. Bro. You don't even know. Yes, this is what happens when you lose your job. When you cancel people for shit that they post on Twitter, you take way more than that away from them. All you need to do is go get another job in the tech sphere. Don't think that's going to be a difficult thing for you. Although, you might have to quit that job, just like you're doing on Twitter. We, the workers at Twitter, will not be intimidated. We recommit to supporting the communities, organizations, and businesses who rely on Twitter. We will not stop serving the public conversation. You haven't been doing that anyways. We call on Twitter management and Elon Musk to seize these negligent layoff threats. As workers, we deserve concrete commitments so we can continue to preserve the integrity of our platform. We demand of current and future leadership. Nothing ever tells an employer that you need to be fired more than when you start making a list of demands. That's bye. As a former employer myself, bye. That's not what we're here to do. That's not how this whole relationship works between us, man. I'm sorry. Bye-bye. If Trump was here, he'd say, you're fired. So they demand respect. We demand leadership to respect the platform and the workers who maintain it by committing to preserving the current headcount. So nobody gets fired? Yeah, no. Safety. We demand the leadership does not discriminate against workers on the basis of their race, gender, disability, sexual orientation, or political beliefs. We also demand safety for workers on visas who will be forced to leave the country they work in if they are laid off. I mean, we all understand how all this stuff works. We've all had real jobs before. Most of those things you cannot get fired for. You can get fired for being a piece of shit and being lazy. And if you are in a downsizing of a corporation, you have to be and you're on a work visa for that company. I mean, sounds heartless, but these are the things. This is how these things work. I'm sure that if you are on a work visa, depending on what country you're from, if for some reason you are laid off from that company, I'm sure there's things that you could do to get another job. I don't see that being too crazy of a thing, but who knows? Protection. We demand Elon Musk explicitly commit to preserve our benefits. Those both listed in the merger agreement and not, e.g. remote work. We all know how Elon feels about remote work. He says, yeah, I can see you being able to remote work as long as you're in the office at least 40 hours a week. Then you can do however many hours after that you want to remote work. That's on you. We demand leadership to establish and ensure fair severance policies for all workers before and after any change in ownership. We'll talk about that in a minute. Dignity, we demand transparent, prompt, and thoughtful communication around our working conditions. We demand to be treated with dignity and to not be treated as mere pawns in a game played by billionaires. Sincerely, woke-ass Twitter workers. Whew. Well, that was what that's the letter they sent. And if I was Elon Musk, every single person that would have signed on to that letter would have been on the street yesterday. Because you don't do that. That is not how this works. So let's pull up a Timcast article here because we all love Timcast. Elon Musk gears Twitter purchase, fires top executives. Now, as far as maintaining the current headcount, obviously that's gone. Because what he did do was immediately fire the CEO, Parag Agarwal. Oh, come on, don't do that. The CFO, Ned Siegel, and Chief Content Moderator, Vijay Gatti. The super baddie that we all probably remember if you watched that episode of Joe Rogan back in the day. Tim Pool talks about it all the time on the show. He loves to remind everybody that he was on Joe Rogan more than once. But yeah, it was Tim Pool, Vijay Gatti, and Jack. Why can't I remember his name now? But yeah, former owner of Twitter. Why can I not remember his name? This is insane. Either way. But yeah, she's the main baddie she's like the chief censorship officer over at Twitter, runs the whole caboodle there. But she's gone, along with another, I believe, their lead legal counsel as well. So those were the 4 people that got taken out immediately. And again, the meme game was fire for that one. We're not going to spend too much time on that one, but it was just when you guys download and create your Twitter, make sure that you follow us right there at Salt of the Street for Donovan, at Big Bird Offie, and of course, we don't have a regular at Salt of the Streets for like the show, but we just share stuff on our own personal. But follow us there, and we'll hook you guys up with all the great memes. It's fantastic. I'm trying to get Donovan to work on his Twitter more because he's more of an Instagram guy. But follow him on Instagram anyways. _Donovan. I'm at Big Bird Offie on all the things. So one of the things they talked about, those fair severance packages for the employees. Well, Vijay Gatti, the censorship czaress in chief, she made $17 million last year from Twitter. And I believe this year it was closer to 22. I haven't been able to get a top solid number on that one. But she got a massive payout as far as severance goes, along with the rest of the C-suite executives that they fired. And so they're not hurting for money, nor were they beforehand. So nobody should feel bad about getting these psycho leftists out of seats of power within giant big tech social media. Shouldn't, because she's just terrible person. But the really, really funny thing was after that happened last night, today, there was stories started to come out, some on Twitter, some through regular channels, that people, just regular employees, were being laid off left and right, blah, blah, blah. And so I did a little digging, and it turns out people are pretending to be laid off Twitter employees that are carrying boxes, and they stood outside Twitter HQ. So in videos circulated on Twitter Friday morning, 2 men carrying boxes were seen standing near the entrance of Twitter's San Francisco building, claiming they had been laid off by Elon Musk, who officially took over the company Thursday evening. There are plenty of problems with what these 2 men say to reporters. The most glaring is that one man identified himself as a software engineer called Raul Ligma. If you guys don't know what that is, I don't blame you, but we'll get into it in a minute. The Verge has confirmed the name does not exist in Twitter's Slack or email system. There is no evidence that the employees existed on LinkedIn. Ligma is, of course, as they say, because they want to make sure they condescend to you, also an internet hoax designed to elicit the response, "Look at my balls." Got it? Ligma balls. For people who are in on the joke, that didn't stop multiple outlets, including CNBC and Bloomberg, from running stories, headlines Friday saying they laid off Twitter employees, were leaving the building carrying boxes. This is the Bloomberg story, and I'm, of course, not going to give Bloomberg any of my money, but you can see right up front, they published it at 10:20 this morning and corrected it a few hours later. The CNBC story I absolutely love because it just shows you how journalism is dead. Editor's note. So they changed the headline. Elon Musk's first day owning Twitter leads to havoc and a possible hoax about layoffs. Oh, you guys are so terrible. Editor's note. After CNBC published details of an interview with people who claim to be fired employees of Twitter, several reports emerged suggesting it was a hoax. CNBC could not confirm the identities of the individuals. But you just took two randos standing there with a box outside the building just put out whatever they said, thinking this is the truth. You're not doing journalism, guys. TMZ are better journalists than you people are, you pieces of shit. This is what's wrong with media. You guys just don't fact check anything. When you do, you just send it out third party to a bunch of people who painstakingly find ways to try to twist and bend every word and sentence involved to try to make it land, whether true or false, whether they want it or not. It is so stupid. So that was really fun. So keep an eye out for more of those stories because those are not the only two going around. And Ligma and Johnson, the other guy's name was Johnson. So Ligma Johnson, watch out for those two characters floating around the internet. They're still out there. So what is coming up next? We go back to Tim Cast here. This Christopher Bertman, who actually was recently on an episode of Pop Culture Crisis, another show that I like that they put on. But Elon Musk to reportedly nix Twitter's lifetime ban policy, which he is looking to do that. And we're not going to even get into the story because I could pull it up directly from his own Twitter feed himself, his own words. He's looking to do it, but there are stipulations and there will be a timeline, and we will get into that in a minute. But also, advertisers threaten boycott if Trump reinstated to Twitter. That's been the big game. Everybody wants Trump back on Twitter because everybody misses mean tweets, including myself. The only good thing about Twitter for the longest time was that Donald Trump was on Twitter, and there was a whole reply guy thing that was going on. People made entire careers by just replying to Donald Trump's tweets, and then they got big and they got journalism jobs and so on and so forth, or they were just low-level people at journalistic outlets, and then they started becoming a Trump reply guy because every morning at like 3 o'clock in the morning, Trump would get up, go to the bathroom, sit there, and just dump on people on Twitter. And it was great. I miss the mean tweets, and I want that back so bad. For his part, Trump said that he's happy that Elon bought Twitter, and if he's allowed to come back, he wants to stay on Truth Social. But he's going to have to come back because if he's going to run, he has to come back. I mean, Twitter would just be, it would be so good if Trump came back. It would be so good. Okay. So anyways, let's go back to Elon Musk's Twitter because this was his. Ligma Johnson had it coming. So these are the two guys. This is Ligma and this is Johnson. And so they just stood outside with boxes outside the building, and they just told stories to reporters outside. And the reporters just ate it up, and it was the news, and it was fit to print, and so they did it. Comedy is now legal on Twitter. Yes, yes, yes. Here we go. Twitter will be forming a content moderation council with widely diverse viewpoints. No major content decisions or account reinstatements will happen until the council convenes. So as far as people coming back on Twitter, getting their accounts back, that'll be the next step. They're going to form a council. There's going to be lots and lots of interesting takes, I'm sure, on who will be on the council. I'll be interested to see who's on the council, obviously, because if we don't want like just Twitter 2.0, just a redux of Twitter 1.0, but we will see what's going on. I got a lot of faith in the Musk man, and so we'll see. Then that's currently where we are at, which is not a bad place to be in. Twitter for what it is right now is a much more fun Wild West place to hang out. You could say you could talk about vaccines openly so far. I mean, I can't go too hard because I'm on YouTube, obviously. But you can go harder on Twitter than you can on YouTube. Put it that way. It's a whole deal. It feels kind of like the Wild West right now because I think everything's kind of in limbo. Like nothing's really happening. Nobody was allowed to make any changes to the code, I think, like a week prior to the actual takeover. So we'll see. We will see. I think it's going to be a fun thing. I think it's going to be exciting. And just as exciting as this beer is right now. Oh, I'm excited for tomorrow. Again, we got a hell of a show tomorrow right here, Salted Streets YouTube, noon Pacific time. And yeah, we're going to be kicking off 136. It's going to be epic. Don's coming in. Congratulations to the big salty boy himself. Officially a homeowner now. First time home buyer. I love it. I'm so excited for him. It's going to be dope. Yeah, more to come on that because, of course, there's 2 houses. There's definitely going to be 2 studios. Whoop, whoop. But yeah, I'm sure he'll talk about that tomorrow on the show. So be there or be square. And yeah, for himself, the Nero of Neoprene, at Salt of the Street on Twitter, at alpaca_Donovan. You know, for him and myself, I'm at Big Bird Offie on all the things. You can follow us there. For both of us, happy Friday. We out of here. And we will see y'all